This video contains elements that are not suitable for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised.
So, if you've seen the full Steam supercut of Sodorama, you'll know that in addition to the main 24 seasons of the show, I talked about the pack spinoff between series 9 and 10. And for those who haven't seen the FSS, or if you're simply one of those people who prefer the shorter reviews rather than the longer supercuts, here are my thoughts on the Jack and the Soda Construction Company series. Or simply Jack in the Pack if you prefer. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. On with the review! To quickly recap what I've said in my reviews for Series 6 and 7, 26 episodes were planned for Jack in the Pack, but due to the acquisition by Hit Entertainment and wanting to avoid competing with Bob the Builder, the spin-off was cancelled, while what would become the 13 episodes were released on DVD in 2006. These episodes were filmed in 2003 alongside Series 7, hence the abundance of stock footage in the latter. As I said, it was amazing that they managed to film nearly 40 episodes at the same time, but let's take a look at what we got out of the Pack spin-off, shall we? Like the pilot episodes Jack Jumps In and A Friend in Need, the Pack episodes were directed by Steve Asquith, with Phil Farrell serving as the producer and Robert Harshorn as music composer. Keep in mind that it was released between Series 9 and 10, so of course they'd use Robert's music. Michael Angelis and Michael Brandon reprised their roles as the narrator for their respective dubs, as does Eric de Zwart in the Netherlands for Dutch audiences, which is surprising since the Pack episodes are not available in many other languages. The only languages this series has been dubbed in, apart from the two English dubs, are Dutch and German. Japan was planning to release the series in 2003, but plans for the dub were ultimately cancelled, probably because a fair number of people working on the series at the time had retired after production of Series 7 was completed. On August 24, 2006, 6 episodes were released in the United States on DVD on-site with Thomas and Other Adventures, while the remaining 7 episodes were released on Thomas's Trusty Friends in the United Kingdom on October 2nd, with Jack Owns Up and Percy's Scary Tale being left off for whatever reason. Chronologically, the Pack episodes take place after Jack Jumps In and A Friend in Need from Series 6. And given that the episodes were around 4.5 minutes long, it's likely they may take place before or during Series 7 as well. And if you thought Jack Owns Up and Percy's Scary Tale being left off a UK DVD for Thomas's Trusty Friends was weird, in the United States, Thomas's Trusty Friends featured episodes 7 to 12, while the episode 13, Mud Glorious Mud, was put on a compilation of the same name with 5 other randomly selected episodes from both the classic series and the hit era. When the episodes were released, rather annoyingly, 9 episodes had their titles changed to put emphasis on Thomas and Percy, even if they had little involvement during the events that unfolded. Probably the only one to make some degree of sense was Kelly's Windy Day, originally called 5 Easy Pieces, since the former title properly reflects on what's happening in the episode. Here are the remaining original titles, along with the official ones. The only ones to keep their titles were Jack Owns Up, The Tortoise and the Hare, Alfie Has Kittens, and Mud Glorious Mud. But do the current misleading titles reflect on the quality of the episodes? Of course not. Admittedly, some episodes like Percy's Scary Tale and Kelly's Windy Day are a bit more on the dull side, but when they're good, they're really good. Thomas's Trusty Friends and The Tortoise and the Hare are 2 of the funniest episodes of the entire franchise, and Jack Owns Up has a fantastic lesson about owning up to your mistakes. But the best episode of the bunch was Alfie Has Kittens, and if I were to include the Pack episodes in my top 10 list of favorite classic series episodes, it would have easily made the list, knocking Escape to a rather fitting number 11. It has a great message, 2 actually, about sizes and everything, and about playing to your strengths. Alfie Has Kittens is really that great. Also, it has adorable kittens in it, and anything with cats in them is good in my books. Well, mostly. Ugh. But on the other hand, the weakest episode was A Tale for Thomas, and it does wrong what Henry's Forest does right, even if I don't like the Series 3 episode. Why would a tree that needs felling be saved? Once it's been felled, that's it. Henry's Forest did it better because it taught its audience that not every tree could be saved. But even then, A Tale for Thomas isn't terrible, but it's not that interesting either. As I just mentioned during the Series 9 review, Thomas and Percy both had gauge 3.5 models made so they could interact with the Pack. Weirdly, though, Percy's model had a green dome and red stepladders. A gauge 3.5 model for Trevor was also made, most likely for the cancelled episode Isabella Gets Steamed, but the most Trevor got was a few cameo shots such as in Mud Glorious Mud, making you wonder why they bothered to build it at all. Then again, considering what he went through in the CGI series, that's not much of a surprise in hindsight. Fortunately though, the gauge 3.5 model has been preserved by the Thomas Tank merch team. The pack episodes marked the sole appearances of Patrick the Cement Truck, Nelson the Transporter, both debuting and on site with Thomas, with the latter also appearing in Thomas and the Moles and Percy Helps Out. Neither really left much of an impact after the spin-off, although Patrick could have had a chance at redemption in another cancelled episode, The Importance of Being Patrick. Buster the Steamroller was very much the polar opposite of George, even down to his red livery. It would have been a lot of fun just seeing the two clash with one another. Both did appear in The Great Discovery, which was also Buster's last appearance, but never at the same time. On a side note, Buster's name was intended to be one for Oliver the Excavator. A UK livestream even accidentally labeled Buster as an excavator. Had Oliver been called Buster, we probably wouldn't have had Marion subplot in Soda's Legend of a Lost Treasure.
Oliver? Oliver? But I thought you made a wish. I thought you changed into a digger. There can't be two Olivers.
Yes, there can.
The only pack member introduced in the spin-off to appear in future projects beyond the model era was Monty, Max's twin. He's probably the best thing that happened to Max, who could have likely come off as a generic antagonist with very little to him. Both get competitive with one another as well, which was far more interesting than Max alone outright picking on the smaller vehicles for no reason. You'd be easily forgiven for thinking that pre-Series 23 there are only 12 members of the pack. Nope. There are actually plans to include more members, such as the Horrid Lois from Series 5, according to the official website and various magazine articles and file facts. For whatever reason, they were dropped, leaving them one-offs. It would have been nice to see what could have been done with them had they stayed. The only ever dropped member was the number 21 member, Nigel the Transporter. He was developed by Robert Galgalius before writing for the Jack in the Pack spin-off had begun, but Nigel never appeared in any script, and I think it's possible that he was replaced by Nelson. Who knows what they could have done with Nigel and what his personality was like. If we include Brenda and Darcy from Series 23, that's 18 pack members in total, with 6 or 7 currently unknown. And while we're on the topic of scrapped concepts, I forget when exactly we heard the news of the remaining 13 cancelled episodes, but we do have varying levels of information about them. From what has been uncovered so far, there were plans to give the likes of Byron, Patrick, Nilsson, and Isabella more involvement in the stories. Since these episodes were written around 2003, it's believed that some of their plots were reused for future episodes of the main series. Pop Goes the Diesel was rewritten to become Thomas to the Rescue, and Bossy Byron into Emily's Adventure, both for Series 8. Treasure Hunt became Thomas and the Treasure for Series 10. The Importance of Being Patrick had elements adapted into Percy and the Bandstand and Being Percy in Series 12 and 14, respectively. And Jack and Alfie Swap, or Grass is Greener, became the Switch in Series 17. Alongside them, we have Gordon Goes Foreign and the Missing Code from Series 2, alongside with 3 currently unknown scrapped episodes from Series 21. That's 18 known episodes that were cancelled during production, but with the pack episodes, we probably didn't lose a whole lot in the long run since all 12 members at the time had been pretty well established in those episodes, although it does leave you wondering what might have been. Since 2006, members of the pack have appeared in The Great Discovery and Percy and the Bandstand, as I mentioned while discussing Percy's Gauge 3.5 model. And starting with Jack appearing in King of the Railway, the pack has appeared sporadically in the CGI series, or at least Alfie, Oliver, Max, and Monty have, and they become minor regulars in the show up to Series 23. And no, I'm not commenting on Jack's model being modified. There's really no need. There was a pretty stupid complaint back in 2013, and it's pretty stupid now. The Jack in the Pack episodes were probably the best thing to come out during the hit model era, even if they were produced 3 years prior. Much like Series 4, I really respect how they were able to work around a lot of issues with filming. With Series 4, it was dealing with the models of the narrow gauge engines alongside the standard gauge ones, and with the Pack episodes, it was having them filmed alongside Series 7. While it would have been nice to see more episodes out of them, don't get me wrong, with what we got, I think we can be thankful and accept that quality matters over quantity. And for a while, it was rumored that Andrew Brenner was the head writer for a second Pack series, but it turned out to be false. The episodes we got are pretty simple overall, but like Series 6 through 8, the Pack spinoff does the job it's supposed to do, be a soothing experience for kids while teaching them good lessons. Alright, so that's officially every series of the show covered, all 24 of them plus the Pack spinoff. So what am I going to be covering next when I return to Sodorama? Hopefully it'll be a good one.
Hello, Twinkle Toes. Remember me? Fat Hat won't have much use for you looking like that.
Aw, fuck me. Ugh, this is gonna take a while, folks.
Soon